I'm going to take a look at the Othrysian Tarot today. I got this a while ago and I haven't opened it up yet, so you're the first to see it with me. Maybe you've seen it before online, but I haven't. So I thought it was kind of cool. And I got it from Artesian Tarot, is where I picked it up from. Let's go and just open this box up and take a peek. The actual box itself feels really nice. It's not like your typical paper. It's matte for sure, and I don't know if it's made real well because here it probably split on the theme on the seam right there. So the quality's probably not the best box I've seen, but I'm not looking at the box. I'm looking at the cards, so let's check them out. Okay, let's pull them out. They're not in plastic, which is fine. It makes it easier so you don't damage them. And it has a little guidebook we'll take a quick peek at. Okay, again, that's the box. And now the guidebook, companion guide, they call it. It gives you just the basics. That does have some reversals as well. Let's see what else it got. This will go through all the cards. There's some of them have different names than the actual typical Rider Waite or the typical Major Arcana. Like this one's called Typhon, which is a 16 card. And then you have Consumption, which is the 15. That's the Devil, I believe. And so forth. So they're a little bit different in name, which is fine. Let's see. And then the coins, 7 of coins, your pentacles, wands, swords, and cups. What I like about this, it has them all kind of lined up. And then here it goes. It almost looks like it met with, this is actually really brilliant, actually. What I like about this, where I don't see it often, is they actually map the fives here to the actual major arcana cards. So these are like your life lessons type of thing, or your daily tasks, like the 5 of coins, overspending, 5 of wands, needing accountability, 5 of swords, being impulsive, and of course some other things, and the 5 of cups. But then instead that goes to the 15, consumption, which is addiction, devil, right? The devil card. And then you have the teacher, 5, which is a hierophant. So that's interesting. I like that a lot. That's gonna be a very cool deck to read with, I have a feeling. Now, do they have any spreads in here we could do? I'm not seeing any in this little guidebook, and that's fine. So let's go and just run through these cards really quick and go from there. All right, so it took me a minute to get situated. So I'm just going to go and roll through these. I don't think I'm going to do a lot of commenting, but this, or I may comment and just kind of tell you what the cards, this is the full. All right, so let's go through these. Magician, Empress, and that's the majors. So let's go and just rip right through the minors as well. All right. Now, if you prefer me just kind of jamming through these, let me know. Let's talk more. Just look at the pictures and see if you like it or not. As we get ready for the minors, I have a question for you. What's your vibe on this? Do you like this deck so far? You like what you're seeing, or is it something that doesn't really, resonate with you? I'm digging it so far. Now, one thing before we go into this is the card quality. It seems like the cards are actually really thin. So, like, as you can, I mean, they'll bend, but I'm afraid if you hit the corner too much, you're actually going to bend that card. So they are a little bit on the thin side. So just be aware of that. Okay, and so now we're going to rip through the minors. So pentacles, cups, swords, and wands. Okay. They have the Marseille vibe to them, which I do like. So they're not traditional Rider Waite at all. It's more along the Marseille tradition. And they also follow the same numbering where it builds on each other. That's cool. Now we're going to go into the court cards. Now, I don't know what is what. So, messenger to me feels more like a knight than a page, but I'm going to assume that's the page. But again, I don't know. Radiance. So, let me get the book real fast before I just jam through these. So, messengers are like pages, vessels are queens. So, these must be the queen cards here. They're called the Radiance, yeah. So Radiance, Glory, Pride, and Force. And then Pillar, I'm assuming, is like a king. Again, I'm guessing here. Let's look. Yeah, king. And then the last card would be your knights, which is the rider, which makes sense. Okay, so that's the deck. What are your thoughts? But what I want to do is a quick reading. I just want to see how these cards read, how they feel. So let's go ahead and shuffle them a few times and just get an overall vibe. But again, the paper is a little bit on the thin side, so be careful of that. But they shuffle okay, not bad at all. And we're just going to do a quick 3-card spread on this. And we're going to look at just, I don't know, what could the question be? What to look out for, right? Just to kind of help us through the day, right? So it's a general reading on like, what do we need to know? Dang it. What do we need to know right now? One more time. One more time. Okay, so they definitely shuffle really nice. And we're going to figure out how they read. And we're going to use the guidebook with it because these cards are a little different. I'm not familiar with them. So we're going to do with the theme is in position 1. Position 2, challenge or blockers or things we need to be mindful of. And position 3 is our path forward, okay? Simple as that. So let's see what the universe gave us here. The theme we need to be aware of right now is the Wheel of Fortune. Well, we all know what that means, right? That you have to basically just let things go as they may. It's like a card of destiny here. It's a 10, it's a cycle. It's ready to start on to the 11. So just flow with it and let things come as they may because things are going to work out the way they should, right? It's more like a destiny is what it's saying. So if you have a week or a month or a year and you're feeling like you don't know what's going on and you are afraid to do anything, you got to just ignore that feeling and just go with it. Let it occur as it may. Now we're going to go into the guidebook here and look at the 10. It says, luck, turning point. When it comes around, goes around, fate, cycles. And it says that the Anarchy is a primordial goddess of necessity, and she is a cosmic force that compels the will into movement. Her daughters are the Morai and the 3 fates. All right, that's cool. That's cool. And they spin the thread of life that tethers us to this world. Propelled by the Anarchy, the will reminds us that it is necessary for the will to raise high what is low and bring down what is up. It's like a balance things out. Fortune and misfortune are laid out for all of us in her divine plan, right? Destiny. And what is meant to be will come. You just got to let it go and trust the process, right? So it means that luck, turning point, what comes around goes around, fate cycles. If it was reversed, it's bad luck. So pretty much you just reverse the meaning, okay? So that's the theme. Just let things fall where they may fall, right? And now what is stopping us from doing that? Why are we having such a hard time letting fate happen? The Three of Swords. And I don't know if this is reverse or upright, but I'm going to think it's upright because the swords pointed down, and you can feel that you just feel so roadblocked. I'm not going to read this as a rider weight because I'm not seeing that here. That's your car, your mind is just snapped and the heart is pierced. But you see here, the sword is stuck between these two. So it's almost like you just can't have any movement and you're just mentally stuck. You're completely just stuck and there's nothing you can do to move forward. You can't get clarity. You don't know which path to go. And that's the challenge, is that you're afraid to trust the divine plan, trust destiny, because nothing seems to work out for you. You just feel like every move you do is just wrong. And also look at the blue, right? So it tells you the card's highly emotional for a mind card. This is air, okay? Intellect and thought. And the red is your passion and it's just being crippled by your emotions. So it's almost like, since there's more blue here, that your desire is just being faded out, right? And that's why you can't trust. You're just afraid to. You just don't know what to do. So that's what I see in the Three of Swords. Now let's see what the book says. Okay. Oh, and this would also go to the Empress. So when you think about that, let's tie it back to the major arcana. That's what they were doing here. The Empress is all about what? Growth, okay? Nurturing. Well, because you have the Three of Swords here, what I'm feeling is that you don't feel nurtured. You don't feel that self-love that you need. You feel like you're being drained of your energy. Everybody's taking it from you, the double-edged sword, right? You open the door too much, which is the Dalit, and you don't shut it. You let people have easy access to you, and that's just causing you so much contention. Is take away your focus from letting things fall where they may. Okay. All right. So think about that. Okay. So the three, that's the matriarch. The dynamic nature of the three brings about production, expansion, growth, etc. They are a proof of concept or the initial results of an idea. They also explore the idea of integration and how we see ourselves working with others. It breaks away from the passive duality of the twos to expand and grow. That is absolutely on the mark. In the major arcana, threes are represented by matriarch and 13. 13 is death, transformation. The matriarch is rooted like a tree, spanning acres and connected to all other living things like a network. She is also the generative soil, allowing all things work in harmony and produce fruitful bounties. 13 is like death, which is an important cycle of life. The soil beneath our feet is an accumulation of death, creating a base for which new birth can grow. It is important also to remember that some things must come to an end so that new growth may flourish. And here we have the Three of Swords and saying creation of problems, pushback, obstacles, combativeness, constant disappointment. And that's kind of how I felt when I read that card. Now, what is our path forward? What's our path forward out of this? How do we overcome this feeling of despair, this feeling of like nothing's going to work for us, the feeling that we can't let the wheel of fortune do what it needs to do? We're trying to block it and stop it, right? The Two of Swords, we got to make a decision and stop stalemating ourselves. So I always usually read this card kind of like a stalemate, where you're kind of stuck, and you can see here you have this band ribbon around the two swords, kind of like locking it in place, and see how the sword is going through the other sword. So it's like it's stuck. You can't pull it apart. And that's what I feel like, is that the path forward is you have to make a decision. You got to stop holding yourself back. And again, it's a mind card. But because the blades are blue, you also got some emotion there, but the yellow is a vitalis, the living that you want to go. So you got to make a decision. You got to get over your fear of it, on the disappointments that you felt, and let the wheel of fortune just take its course and unblock yourself. That's the path forward. Now, what does it say here for the two? And I'm telling you something, we're kind of just testing this deck out. I like it. I'm going to use it in my readings. The cards quality is not bad, but they are thin though. So you got to be a little careful. I'm afraid that they could get damaged. So just be careful with them. But it's a cool deck regardless. So the 2 is a High Priestess or suspension. Yeah, your roadblock, you got to look at things from a different perspective. You got to grow, trust yourself, right? The 2 embodies passive reception, taking information and meditating with it. They teach us about preparation and gathering by way of observance and gestation growth. We have now taken the potential energy of the aces and are understanding and developing it. The duality of 2 is like looking into a mirror and seeking to patiently understand the reflection we see before us, rather than jumping to conclusions. It requires intimacy and openness. In relation to the major arcana, the priestess and suspension evoke this period of contemplation. The priestess stands at the precipice of her known world and the world just below the surface. So it's kind of like the static on TV. The high priestess is, it's there, you can feel it, you can sense it, but you can't see it. And that's kind of the thing too, is like you got to make a decision, but you're blocked. You can't really see what it is, but you got to trust. You got to trust destiny and let it happen, because good luck will come if you just stop blocking yourself and make a decision to move forward. And notice too, these are mind cards. So it's all around the intellect, around how you think. So it's your mind getting the best of you. You're overthinking, overanalyzing. That's how I'm feeling that, because you have 5 here, and a 5 is all around contention or freedom. So, and that has a 3 energy and a 2 energy. So the 3 energy is all sitting around growth. Well, you can't grow because you can't make a decision. You're 2, and that 5 then puts you in a trap, puts you in a little bit of turmoil, right? A little bit of chaos. And when you add them all together, you have a 15, right? The 15 is a devil card. So it's kind of like you're stuck in your addiction, or you're stuck in your mire. You just can't get out of it for whatever reason, because you're stuck in the comfort of maybe what you had, and you now know you have to let go and grow, but it'll be fine if you just let go. What goes up must come down. What comes down must go up, right? So the past has to be let go of so you can have a future to grow into. And if you do that, then you go to the 6, the Lover's card. Okay. The High Priestess stands. Okay, I read that already. She is a recluse who is devoted to her own spiritual practice. Suspension hangs in solitary confinement, forced to learn hard lessons through this punishment. See, I don't see the hangman like they do. Like, I don't find it as a punishment. I find it as growth, because you're forced to look at things differently. You're hanging by your feet. And at the same time, your feet are pointed towards the heavens, so you're walking with God, right? In the sense where you're letting shit go and no longer looking at things the same way. And God, it could be the universe, it could be consciousness, whatever you want it to be. I'm just using that as a term, okay? And so here it says the 2 of Swords are respite from conflict, reprieve, stalemate, difficult decisions, avoidance. So that's the reading here. What did you think? Do you like it? Do you agree? Do you like how the cards read? Do you like the little guidebook here and how it says? I think I like this deck a lot, and I think I'm going to be using it quite often. Also, do you prefer this way of a deck review? So rather than, going through the cards and explain each one like I normally do, which I think a good friend of mine said, hey, Kev, try something different. And so this is my take on it. And he also recommended to, at the end, like here, just do a quick little reading. And I think I like it more because it makes it more interesting than just looking at cards. And I think it's just funner to do with you all. So again, let me know. And also my friend Martin, go check out his website too. His YouTube channel. He's Martin's Musing. And I will drop that below. And please, go check him out. He has great content. Love his channel. Really nice person. Really genuine. And I think you're going to enjoy what he offers as well. Anyway, until next time, I want to see y'all in my next reading. All right. Or review. Bye, everybody.